Hello everyone, welcome back to another 1/6 scale figure video. Today will be a review on the Asmus Toys Snake Plissken from John Carpenter's classic Escape from New York. And I'm really excited for this. For people that don't know, I first watched this movie a few years ago. I'd done a movie reaction back when I used to do them, and it is on my channel if you want to check out my initial first reactions of this film. And ever since then I just fell in love with the film, and it became instantly one of my favourite Carpenter films. And Asmus, at the start of this year, put up for PO their Snake Plissken version. Two versions, the sculpted and rooted hair, or real hair as they label it as. I opted to get the wool/real hair, and the box is really nice and simple. You got kind of like the tracker motion of Snake when he enters New York and kind of spinning around. It's a very hefty, heavy box, which I really like. Reminds me of the caustic plastic, just the bulkiness of it. You just got like a New York apartment complex. You got a nice like 3D print insignia there. And just quickly at the back of the box, that looks like his motion tracker, if I remember. Yeah, that's definitely the tracker on his wristband. And yeah, really simple box. This is my first Asmus toy as well. I was really interested with their Ash originally, but I feel they went through a couple of hiccups with that particular figure. Mostly with like the rooted hair, additional head sculpts and all that. Something was a bit off, I felt, with Asmus with that particular guy. But from what I've seen, most of the time they hit rather than miss. You know, I think their Gandalf and stuff like that look pretty decent. And yeah, hopefully this is good, because again, this is my first impression with this company and I do want it to be positive. Also, just quickly up there, I've got the Mondo McCready Kurt Russell up there. And I might bring him down and do just a quick side by side to see which one captures the likeness of Kurt Russell a bit better. So I might as well get to the unboxing. So I've just cut the seal and taken the slip cover off, which is kind of like a Hot Toy acrylic thing. Reminds me a lot of like the Matrix figure they did with Neo, how you kind of move it out. It's got that acrylic feel. And this is really nice artwork here of the Statue of Liberty, kind of like torn up and disheveled. You got bullet holes. Something here is interesting. You've got Velcro. I don't know if you can hear that, but there is Velcro bits there, and there's nothing really in there for me to put there. So I don't know if that's maybe a feature that is in the box, maybe a Velcro nameplate that goes there for you to display this as a backdrop. Not too sure. But yeah, first impressions, I really like the artwork in the box. Usually I don't like doing unboxings, but for stuff, first impression type stuff, I do like to get this, because it kind of gets a scope of how much the company put effort into these figures. And so far, really positive experience. And this is the box opened. You get a nice read up of what the movie is about and what year it is. Again, really nice backdrop and artwork here. Really love this attention of detail. Kind of get a read up here of Snake. You've got Asmus there. Their Crown series. Really love this artwork. This is such a cool piece. Again, a lot of people don't really give a shit about art boxes and stuff like that. I really do like when companies go out their way and do this. Like Hot Toys and their DX stuff. In Art recently have done really good with their packaging. it just shows the love and attention of detail, and yeah, Asmus are really swaying me to like them. And I'm guessing behind here is going to be maybe the figures. Hopefully they don't fall on me. Okay, what's that? Operation Guide. Big, heavy name plaque there, which I assume is the Velcro bit for that side of the box. So I'll spin it around. And yeah, it's interesting. I assume they want you to use the box as a display. That's nice as well. It's a nice texture. Anyway, I'll move this away and I'll see what's behind this. So I've pretty much just tipped it over. Let's see what's under here. Oh, okay, so it's the figure itself. Right, so I'm probably just going to cut away, take everything out. I assume that's maybe where the head sculpt is. I assume the head sculpt is maybe in this hard cardboard case. It's not rattling around, which is a good sign. I know a lot of like early in-art figures had a little bit of an issue with having the sculpt and that secure. And that's the body there, which is interesting because we do get a lot of swap out parts. Most notably the seamless swap outs. I have my opinions with seamless rubber, but we'll see how the quality is with Asmus. And yeah, I might as well just take this all out. So this is everything out of the box, and this is all the accessories it comes with. I'm not really going to go individually with the stuff. I don't really like doing that, but everything in the box is pretty much in view here. And most of the stuff go on Snake, especially the stuff here on the left. So you would definitely see me going through the instructions off camera and pop that all onto the body here. The body is jointed, but does have swap outs. As you can see here on the right, you kind of get swap out arms that are coated in, I assume, a rubbery material similar to Hot Toys. I am in the plans of getting a body to swap out for a jointed body, but a more realistic one, because first impressions is the joints are pretty gnarly on this particular figure here. I think if they wanted to do a jointed body, you can do much more realistic to what they've done here. But it's not floppy, it's not loose, it's not falling apart, so that's a positive, I guess. And you get a nice leather jacket here, which I'll get into that later. Nice addition. There are some nitpicks though. But I think the main thing is the head sculpt there in that box. I haven't opened it yet. I'm about to now, so what I'm going to do is clear this out and just bring the head sculpt and see what's inside that case. So we've got the head sculpt here, and obviously this is the main selling factor for the Crown series. So I thought I might as well just get right into it. Okay, so nothing in there. I don't want anything falling out, so I'll see what this is first. Okay, so I guess that's a serial number. 30, I guess that's what it is. That's nice. Nice that we get like a COA. And got a foam bit there. And oh, I can see the head sculpt there a bit. Carefully get it out. And okay, I'm actually impressed. It looks pretty good. The hair, the rooted hair feels really decent actually. Thought I'd just adjust the lighting a bit better. I really think it's a solid effort. First impression is really good in my opinion. I don't see any like weird disgusting glue blobs where the hairline is. It's all pretty good. I do think there is maybe one little negative. I read the instructions quickly and there's like a separate attachment at the back, and you can see the hair is managed with product here up until the bottom point here. I might go and add some product on the bottom because there is a texture difference, and I read the instructions that you kind of pull this off and this kind of attaches on the body first, and then you obviously magnetize it with the inside joint, which that's actually a really unique system. It's a much better system than what I've seen with recent Hot Toys where they've got like the big acrylic peg and you're kind of tearing with really thin acrylic. I like this much better. Magnets aren't going to crack. And obviously he's got the patch. That's all sculpted in. There's an indent in his head. So that's not a real... It doesn't feel like a real rope or string. And he's got a rolly eye. A rolly singular eye, obviously. Because it's covered one. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with Asmus right now. So yeah, what I might do is maybe just quickly pop this on the body and see how it looks all together. So if I didn't convey that well, this is pretty much what you have to do by the looks of it. You got just a regular sculpted plastic jointed body, and you got the texturized neck here, and you got kind of like a weird system here where it's a double ball peg, but you got to peg like this unit on first, which is a magnetized like lower portion of his hair, and then you grab the head sculpt next and kind of have to look away off camera, and there you go, kind of pop that straight on. And it's actually a really decent flush look. And yeah, I actually really do think that this is a solid figure from Asmus. I really do like this, and I read it again through the instruction. I really don't want to start taking clothes off, but he does have like the snake tattoo underneath. Maybe I don't want to, part of me doesn't want to get a different body now because I feel they've put a lot of attention to detail in this. But yeah, maybe I can pose the body a certain way that kind of hide these joints. I don't want to do the rubber arms, even though they do come packaged. But yeah, I think the likeness is pretty good. The sculpt work and paint is really nice. I think realistically the only main negatives I have is there is a different texturing in the hair. Obviously they've put product up until the point of that adapter piece, and you can see there's a drop off of hairspray here to here, which for me that's not a big deal because I could just do that myself. But there is an argument to be made that you shouldn't have to. But yeah, I really do see the likeness of Kurt here. Maybe a little bit more than the Mondo version of McCready. So I think before going through the whole instruction booklet off camera to, put all the accessories and the gun holsters and so forth on, I think I would go through the next big topic of this figure, which is the leather jacket. And I do really appreciate that this is genuine leather and it smells and feels pretty high quality. you would expect that for the price of this Crown series. I think for this particular jacket that Snake wears, it isn't accurate, but I feel damaging high quality leather is probably not what Asmus wanted to do, regardless of accuracy. So I do kind of understand their viewpoint of, you know, what's the point getting high quality leather or real leather if we're just going to, you know, get a knife and just start scabbing it up and roughing it up, pretty much like the film. They have tried to not de-age it, they've tried to age it with paint to kind of mimic the worn look that it had in the film. I think it does do a decent job. Part of me would have loved to have seen it more disheveled and weathered like in the film, but then I do see it from Asmus's standpoint, where, you know, they've given us real leather goods. Is it in their company's interest to just completely damage it and turn it into shit? So it's kind of a rough spot for Asmus to be in. There are some inaccuracies here and there. I don't think there's that much zippers and belts and pins in the film, but that also could be due to the weathering and how disheveled the jacket was. But yeah, overall, I think it's really, really nice, and it's a really good sentiment that it is real leather. Some other official companies like Hot Toys or, you know, Mondo didn't do a real leather jacket for their figures, and it's really, really nice that Asmus did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera and just read this lengthy book to just know how to accurately put all the, you know, the buckles, the belts, and so forth. And the seamless arm actually looks pretty promising there. So maybe I might swap it out just on this arm and have it bent similar to as pictured. Maybe this might sway me to seamless. I'll take a look. But yeah, I got a lot to read just to know where everything goes. But I really like that they've given us a big, extensive book here just showing what the hell to do with the guy. So yeah, gonna read this off camera and assemble. And finally, I think I spent like an hour putting that belt on. Just such a weird way that they did it, and I did come across a problem. If I spin it around, you can see the belt clip popped off on mine, because that's such a really dense, tight metal clamp. It's really, really odd why they did that. And it's simple, it's not broken, it's just the adhesive glue popped off. I can easily blob that back on and put it back on, but yeah, minor issue there. And I was going to swap out with the arms, but honestly, this feels more like a really soft PVC instead of a rubber, which is actually a decent idea. Good luck moving it. It feels like you're going to break whatever mechanism joint is under this though. And good luck taking that out the elbow joint, because it feels like you're going to break the mechanism under there. So I'm not a fan of this. Would have been interesting if they'd done a magnet joint instead of a ball peg. But yeah, I think overall the sculpt is definitely the winner here. It's really, really good. I was going to bring down the Mondo McCready, but maybe I'll do it in another video. Maybe I might do a John Carpenter. Actually, I might do a Carpenter 1/6 scale dedicated video where I bring all my John Carpenter figures down. Because there are a few from Carpenter's filmography that I have in figure format now. But yeah, overall, really, really good. I might tweak around the body here and there, maybe swap it out. Maybe I might pop this on, try and do it off film. But I can say that this is really, really good. From Asmus, first impression, really positive in my eyes. Again, a few little obstacles to get around. That belt is a pain in the ass to put on. And I do recommend be careful because it's a bitch to put on. But if you take your time, it should be all good. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for my unboxing. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub. And I'll see you in the next one.